Hey guys, don't know if things are looking too good now. I don't know. I don't have to work tomorrow. I know that. Thank God. Today was a long day at work, man. Stressing me out. And I'm talking to nobody that's in the chat, but I still got things to do. Like get some Pepsi and get some junk food. Get something to eat. Hello, whoever's watching. I'm watching InfoWars again, just seeing what's going on. Maybe Isaiah will get in here. I was thinking about not even doing a live stream, but then I was like, why not? Might as well. Hey guys, got all kinds of healthy snacks here. Some Hershey's and some beef sticks, some Tostitos, spinach.
They've known that this was going to happen. How did they know? How were they prepared for this? Why were they telling people that perhaps the House is going to have to decide who won the election because it's going to drag out for so long, or it's going to be such a close race? I mean, they already knew
It's unbelievable.
What was going to happen, and they've been giving us mentally. You always talk about that. The globalists, they always put their plans out prior to it happening. And they're not. They have been. Hillary Clinton said President Biden should not concede to President Trump under any circumstances whatsoever because she thinks it's going to drag out, and eventually it's just incredible that they will stop at nothing to do this. Last night when I was watching the electoral votes being added to Joe Biden,
Whenever I get a bag of chips and it gets down so low, I just cut the back shorter. Does anybody else do that? Screw reaching in that far. I always regret getting this stuff. I think I'm always like, oh, that stuff tastes great, and then I buy it, and then like the first bite's like, oh yeah, maybe it doesn't taste like I thought it did.
And then they say it was an error in the AP's tallying, but we were watching in real time, going, what the wouldn't give Trump Texas or any of the other states that he was over 80,000 votes or so too close to call. Meanwhile, they give him Arizona and these other places, and then they say it was an error in the AP's tallying. But we were watching in real time, going, what the heck? They're giving it to Biden when Trump.
Is Trump going to get Arizona or Nevada?
Oh, here's another.
Yeah, I don't want to listen to his voice. Just roll videos. How about you look?
They're playing Joe Biden's video from the other night. Alex is like, I don't want to hear his voice. So this one. It was that sly smile.
Yeah, you Shyster. He's a music absolute fake charm. And it's the same with Kamala Harris. Like, this is the best the Democrats could roll out. Absolutely.
But really, thank God, praise God, because the timing that I don't have to work tomorrow is like perfect.
Yeah. She's like, look at me. Nobody's around me, but I'm going to wear my... Couldn't believe
Alex said they're part of the White Shoe Boy Globalist Club.
Made Americans feel like we need to break all of these white privileged forces so we can realize how terrible and awful we are. America was never great, and just really preparing us to bend over to China and whoever else is
Let me tell you, 30, 40% of our followers, they actually believe he's a Nazi. Okay, I mean, these are idiots. And the fact is, we've been such an open, free, wealthy country, they're all lazy, stupid people. Because they never lived in the real world, and they're just idiots.
people are like, no, Antifa stands for anti-fascist.
I'm going to see Isaiah tonight.
Using fascist tactics, they're fighting fascism.
And look, they do a drive-in that the code that they keep all the fraud going. I mean, because they're actually smart. Because they've never lived in the real world, and they're idiots.
Right. I mean, these are the same people that are like, no, Antifa stands for anti-fascist. So even though they're using fascist tactics, they're fighting fascism.
It sucks because this website I've been checking into, the Donald, which is like a forum for Trump supporters, there's been an influx of trolls in there tonight. They've been doing a lot of bait posts and all kinds of crap. But there was one post said that he was going to drink the tears of MAGA people or whatever, and I was like, how stupid. And I clicked on it because I was like, I want to see how stupid this is. I don't know why, but when I clicked on it, it was like an image of like a guy with like his brain bashed in. I was like, oh God, I didn't want to see that. Like, there's some sickos, man. That just makes it to where you believe even more that the left is really evil. Oh, why is it paused? Let's get it back up. Ah. Oh, I didn't know that was.
Solution to all of our problems will
There we go.
arrive when we get him out of office. Then everything's going to be wonderful and great again. Don't look at the fact that Joe Biden's been in office 47 years and was the vice president.
And was a compromised Chinese agent.
And he was, didn't fix the things while we had the chance. But believe me, he's going to this time around.
Yeah, so what happens if we're going to come back and talk about that place in the club, so much happening. I'm going to give the number out later. We have special guest joining us as well. Ray Macklin is in studio. Help.
God, man. Why is this freezing up? I'm doing too much on my internet. Even though it's supposed to be high speed, it's just not good enough.
The most banned network in the world. You don't need me to show you the statistics, the news articles, the government documents. Because you're already experiencing it and seeing it yourself. I know I am. But the statistics do show that suicide is at record highs and that stress is off the charts. Meanwhile, government and big pharma are pushing very dangerous psychotropic drugs. This prescription
Doesn't he need more than that? Doesn't he need Arizona and North Carolina too? Or, I mean, doesn't he need Arizona or Nevada with those? Thanks for joining, by the way. Messerschmitt. What can I call you for? Can I call you Schmidt for short?
raises your right legs. It makes you happy. You get fresh air. It's the real run. I'm outside in this fall day right now shooting for the show. I don't want to go on the show. I'm tempted to start a card table up outside next to this broadcast out here. But God didn't just give us the great weather and the sun and wind, all the great smells and sensations. God also gave us great other nature things like earth. The Samoans and Polynesians worship this earth above all others and believe that the Zeus of their gods, or the most powerful of their gods, is to them. So their pantheon of herbs and other compounds from Mother Nature, they believe that Kamaru was the most powerful, and it is well known to have very serious benefits around the world and be used in sacred ceremonies and to be connected to the supreme ruler and creator of the universe.
Well, I'm glad I voted for Trump. I live in Illinois, and I voted for Trump anyway. In Illinois, obviously. I'm kind of curious about what the turnout was like for him in Illinois. It's crazy how Chicago just dominates it. Pretty sure like everyone in my county voted for Trump because we're, small country town. I know. Because they're calling it so close that neither party will be happy, whoever wins. But obviously the Democrats are the ones who are doing the fraud. Arizona and Nevada, though, does Trump need one of those? It's going to be biblical. It already is. It already is, and I've been praying, the whole time. And I think God's heard the prayers. I mean, everybody's been praying. And, it's definitely a fight, so I think there's been a lot of miracles, and there will be more. I think all this stuff's going to be exposed, even though it's kind of out in the open, but hopefully people that are involved are going to be accountable, held accountable.
The magic balance would come in, which violates the previous law. Supreme Court, back in October 28th, virtue signaled and said, no, we're going to let these things stay open. And so Trump's put the straight to the Supreme Court.
They burned your hat business down? Where do you live? You must live in some city.
Absolutely. And I think that was, part of a psychological decision last night to shut the electoral vote tally.
I know a lot of Americans are fed up with that crap. That's why we know that it has to be fraud for Biden to be leading in a lot of these places or whatever, Portland. Like I've said before, and I talked to semi-drivers that were ticked off about that crap because they blocked the roads and everything. Obviously, police officers are fed up with it. Everybody is. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I live in Illinois. I want to get out of here.
Everything is synthetic. Everything is garbage. The whole thing looks like you're on a movie set.
Yeah, Kentucky seems pretty nice.
Studios or something that's all sort of set up for this. And yeah. Wow. Yeah, I didn't even notice that.
It's all your program. We're programmed. Everything is ordered. Everything is, don't President versus American flags. They hate the very existence of the country.
Right. Well, and the more I see the news anchors and the MSNs taking off their masks and showing who they really are, it
It's 10:50 p.m. here in Illinois.
Exactly. I mean, that's what I feel like we're in right now.
It's very spiritual, like you must cover yourself, we cover ourselves.
Right. And that is like,
Hope means covered.
right. And that's
Well, I'm interested in what kind of hats you make. Maybe I want to buy one.
They're hiding your ability to access.
I don't have a MAGA hat. I feel kind of ashamed that I don't. I'm thinking that I really want to buy one, even no matter what happens. No matter what the outcome of this is or whatever, I really need to get a MAGA hat. Were you selling MAGA hats? You were a hat peddler. I remember like in second grade or something, Panama hats. You don't make baseball caps. That's way so complicated. Straw hats. Well, that's cool. Just made by you. They're pretty authentic then. Pretty unique, huh?
But they follow this esoteric stuff and believe everything's okay. Now, back when Keon stayed in your basements, the media loved it. Once good people took it over, they hated it.
Amish style.
You know, here's a secret army, folks. There's not a secret army out there fighting for you. Let me just tell you.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I literally had the president tell me, press the attack, Jones. You're all
That just made me think of like in second grade when I was in school or whatever, our class did like some kind of play that had to deal with a hat peddler. So like everybody had to bring in hats from home for like props, and like somebody had lice. So like everybody got lice. Everybody got lice except for one kid in our class.
Right. Well, and I think a lot of that too is you have your instincts.
Was there a lot of Amish in Portland? Someone was saying that Trump could lose Georgia.
On this, something's not right. We trust the plan, and like, look where we're at now. Whenever it first came out, I mean, I don't really follow it that much, so I don't have a very strong opinion about it. But I just thought, what a way to manipulate.
The point is that sometimes and they said we're in desperate straits, and that they could have trouble, and that was Chinese agents everywhere. Okay, we are good at come out and say that. I mean, I'm just telling you, directly talking to the president, we're in trouble, folks.
Well, it's pretty interesting that you'd be homeschooled by someone who wasn't conservative.
This is absolutely war right now. We talk about the war between the dark and light.
I always think of conservative people being more leaning towards homeschooling. I don't know. I think homeschooling would be better, though. But I guess both of us had our experiences and we're interested in the other experience. I mean, and mine was different because I only had like 12 kids in my class because I lived in a really small town. So, you know, I didn't have like a class of 100 or whatever. So it was a little more intimate, and I don't know if that's better or not. Anti-vaccines, anti-government, 70s type hippies. Do you have any siblings? There's some pretty good statistics for kids that are homeschooled, though. I mean, if I ever had kids, that's what I would really want, I think, because of all the stuff they're teaching in the schools now, you know, the LGBTQ. And, you know, back in the day, going to a public school might have not been so bad. But, and, you know, I was introduced to marijuana and stuff like that in like junior high school. So there can be some bad things in public schools you can get involved in.
patriarchy, but really she doesn't have any power. She doesn't have any enthusiasm. She doesn't have
So you're kind of like Brian Denlinger. Do you know who that is? That was like my first thought. More human oriented.
She'll do whatever it takes. She's just happy, will smile.
Well, that's good.
And when the news anchor, asks her, "Is that a social?"
I obviously don't like it now. I can't believe that it's legal. It's legal here in Illinois anyway, recreationally. It just happened like this summer. Read people saying the other night, like in, what was it, like in Washington or something, like all recreational drugs are legal. Like possession of them is legal. That's nuts.
And so the Democrats were saying, oh, well, Trump just won him because he just focused so much on the stayed on the message that it's, socialism. Well, Trump stayed on that message because that's what's happening.
Under communism, it's really separated communism.
Right.
Everything's free, but you can't get anything.
Right. Everything's free.
You get a free car and you wear it away in 10 years. Maybe.
Everything's free, but you don't have any parts for your car, so you got to use a plastic Coke bottle, as your exhaust or something, because you can't get any new parts.
Oh.
It's like,
every photo, every video, it's just the most disingenuous fraud. I mean, look at this person.
People who maniacally laugh at everything, even when it's like a serious. She thinks that laugh makes her approachable.
She's a psychotic.
She's a psychotic. Like when you laugh maniacally at things at inappropriate times, that's just weird.
So is there actually going to be a Wisconsin recount? I've heard stuff about that.
She's like, here, Ron, here's some more pallets of cash.
I was up all night last night until like 6 in the morning. I was on here doing a live stream for quite a while, and after that I couldn't go to sleep, and I was still checking the news until 6 in the morning. Like, it was really hard for me to get to sleep and to just say, okay, I'm done. I gotta get sleep and not look at the election anymore. This is crazy though. This is like once in a lifetime, like. A lot of coffee. The half whiskey bottle. Yeah. I know. I've been thinking about it more, and I don't know all the details of every president and stuff, but I kind of feel like Donald Trump was maybe like the greatest president we've ever had, or that we probably ever will have. You're half and half. I mean, I would like to think that even Democrats would be seeing that. I mean, they don't care. They just want to win. So, I don't know. And it's crazy, the Libertarians, too. The Libertarians was just like a throwaway vote. And they got quite a bit of them, I think, in Wisconsin and Michigan.
In the midst of the worst health crisis we're facing in more than a century, don't tell your supporters, don't be afraid of COVID. Everyone should be afraid of COVID.
Yeah, we're pretty much the same age. You're a little younger then. But yeah, I mean, the passion that he has for America, his work ethic towards it and everything, he didn't have to do it. And then people will just say, well, he just wanted the power or whatever. Well, maybe even if he did want power or just the achievement of being the president, like, he still is like on the right side. And I don't know. You see all the rallies and everything and his charisma, but it's more than just that. And what really makes me sick about the possibility of another Democrat president or whatever is just all the online censorship and everything else. Like, they're just going to shut down everything, and there's going to be like no fighting back for anything anymore. It seems like it'll just be like a downhill slope. Like, people are saying, like, if Trump would ever lose, like Twitter could just get rid of him and like his whole account would be gone, and like he could just be like blocked from the internet altogether. I don't know. It's just crazy, man. Oh yeah. Most of Portland are from Germany. My dad visited there in the army with my mom before I was born. Not really sure if I'm surprised that German people would be left leaning, though. I don't know. They have a female leader right now, don't they? Merkel, or maybe is it somebody else? Who is it? White as the driving snow. Yeah. That's what my whole feeling was at work. That's what stressed me out, is because, yeah, Merkel. All your war backgrounds, yeah. Yeah, that's what stressed me out at work, though, because I work at Walmart, and the town that I work in, there's a lot of immigrants there, like Mexicans and like Latinos and Africans and everything you could imagine, really. And there's always people speaking in foreign languages. And just as this election crap's going on, I'm just thinking about it all day, checking the news, and I'm seeing all the foreigners, seeing a lot of women, and I'm thinking these are all like Biden voters, and I'm feeling like uncomfortable in my own skin because I'm a white male. And they might not be all Biden voters, because I know a lot of Latinos lean towards Trump and stuff, and even women too. But I saw something that said that Trump has gained the most non-white voters for a Republican president, like since for a long time. I don't know how long it was. Somebody said 4 voters older than the oldest human being alive today voted in Michigan, including one man born in 1850.
Being a good little citizen, my neighbor came out and I told him that I was getting out of quarantine, whatever. And I said, "Oh yeah, well I had it. I've been in my house for a couple weeks. You know, he never would have known if I hadn't told him, but I did." And he's like, "Oh, I'll die if I get it. I'll die if I get it." And he's
right.
A very healthy person. He's in his safety.
The fear of the self is just like being in the fear gives them a value. Wearing a mask, even though they care about themselves, they took the statistics.
Yeah, that's what I'm sick of. The media.
Yeah, they don't care about the 99.9%.
It's unbelievable.
They don't care about that. They want to feel important. It gives them this like camaraderie.
It's a standing. It's a standing.
What about Minnesota?
It's a total scam, and you just want into being chump. You're not part of the winning team. You're called a schmuck, a sucker, a dumbass, an idiot.
Right. You're like literally guzzling on a big gulp, and then you're like scared of, catching something that's less deadly than the flu. Oh, it's gonna kill me. Like, I'll die if I get it. Like, really, dude? That's your mentality.
I've seen a 3D map with that showed like the places where like Republicans and Democrats vote, and you see how they're like it's concentrated in just like the big cities in Chicago and California or whatever, the cities there. It was crazy to think that like just these handful of cities or whatever across the U.S. like kind of control, or like one city controls the whole state or whatever. Minnesota's a paradise for Somalians, all free for them. I was wondering if Trump was calling it a night or what. He's still on. I mean, not Trump, but Alex. Yeah, I was thinking that today. Like Kentucky sounds pretty nice. This is just crazy.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the front lines of the fight for human liberty. Shows your host, the immaculate Brett Shotgun and Chad Prather, very popular talk show host on the Blaze Network, and also a great country music singer. Love his music. Is here with us. We really appreciate him coming on.
You think there? Said that Trump was made a speech earlier. I guess that was just when he announced like they won, basically. But wonder if there's going to be another speech from Trump tonight. Have you ever been to Germany? You know, they say New Zealand is like one of the most peaceful places, or like crime-free. Yeah, I know. I hope that he announces that he's won and it's over. That's the end of it. There's no mathematical way for Biden to win, and the game's over. And
isn't it interesting that we spent time over these last months, even this last year, telling them
that's awesome.
This is what they were going to do. This is what was going to happen, and they called us idiots. They called us liars. They called us fake news. They called us fraud.
The first thing that I think of when I think of Germany is the Holocaust. So I'm sure that you probably visited one of the Holocaust centers or something.
We just can't take defeat. All the different. We know that it's there. Look, if Joe Biden would win,
whenever I think about Germany, do you speak German? Because my dad has always drank, and the one like phrase that he knew in Germany was ein Bier bitte. It's like one more beer, please, or something like that. Ein Bier bitte.
Hey, I just found 200,000 Michigan ballots for Trump. Does that sound believable? Does it give you one? But yet, they want to defend this idea that somewhere
Smells good, super clean, nice people, electronic music, yeah.
Zero for Trump. That doesn't make sense to me.
I'm talking about here in one of the states, 100% of registered Democrats voted for Biden. That's impossible.
100%. Oh, we just found all these ballots in there. Vote for Joe Biden.
So what's that mean? That you would have to go to war for Germany if you went there? They're talking on the Alex Jones show about the hypocrisy if we said like, oh, we found 200,000 Trump votes or whatever, like nobody would accept that.
Yeah, there's got to be some accountability somewhere, doesn't it? I mean, I can file my taxes online. I can do every major thing that
Berlin.
required for me to do in my life online through the internet, and I trust that.
And they drive on the opposite side of the road. Does every place do that except for the U.S.?
It's insane, this process that we've got.
Yeah, all the major news networks, if they found 200 Trump votes.
And here we are. Here's our situation. Now we're going to say, well, we're going to need more days. We're going to need more months. You're right. It's time to fight back. I mean, that's the
Where is he ahead of? In Pennsylvania, the battle's still going on. Said President Trump was up by 400,000, and then all of a sudden Biden is up 200 or closes in 200,000, with Trump still on the lead, but Biden getting closer. What's ABT cheese?
I mean, the whole COVID thing was sort of in preparation to get us ready for the breadline. So many people, if they continue to be shut down in their state, they're going to need it. They're going to need
Don't they have like
it.
Beer Fest in Germany or Oktoberfest or something?
Yeah, Leanne's exactly right. This COVID thing has trained us, right? It's made us.
I know. What was that? Must be like the Netherlands. I was thinking of that huge metal concert they have, like Wacken. Is that in Germany? It's not in Germany, is it? Wacken or whatever. I don't know how it's pronounced, but.
So they socially distanced us. They put us behind plexiglass. They've made our transactions different. They've shut our businesses.
Belgium. Or I don't know.
Back in stimulus check to show up every month. Then what it's going to be is now we're on the government cheese. We're on the government.
Yeah, is that in Germany? Yeah. I'm a pretty big metal fan. Always interested in that. I had some friends that always wanted to go to that. That would have to be swamped with people, though. That would be crazy. It's in the town of Itzehoe.
We're going to have to take to the streets. We're going to have to stand up and have to be vocal. I'm sick of seeing riots from Antifa and BLM. I'm tired of seeing this nonsense without anybody fighting back.
Schleswig, Holstein.
You got to take it to the street.
What I'm saying is that if they attack our vehicles and stuff, I just got to the point where I'm not looking for a fight, but the next time.
Do you like Rammstein? That's another thing I think of when I think of Germany. I was actually listening to them like in October, kind of getting me into the kind of Halloween mood, I guess. Rammstein. Oh yeah. Oh, I love 80s stuff too. You like 80s rock? You like Phil Collins? Oh, like Rat and Metallica, yeah. Judas Priest, Megadeth. I've been listening to Ted Nugent since he's a big Trump supporter. I mean, with Ted Nugent on Trump's side, and obviously God helping us out, there's no way they're going to get away with this. Tons of vinyls.
In DC at BLM Plaza. I can't believe there's a place called Black Lives Matter Plaza. And they were putting out active tweets that were saying we're looking for.
Yeah, they say that records are like the highest quality sound you can get. At some point, I might want to get a collection of vinyls. It's cool that, they make modern records, like video game soundtracks or movies or just new bands or whatever. Like they come out with records.
Well, you're absolutely right. And Elijah
Yeah,
Sanders
can't get more American than that.
Hernandez working with him, and Savannah's a great lady. She's mad at us that I wouldn't let her go out alone. I'd make her take security, and then that would actually blow her cover. We get it, but then as soon as she said she was going to go there, she got beat up once, and she's got a lot of courage. But again, why would they beat up a woman and videotaping it? They're scum.
Oh,
Yeah, they are scum, and that's exactly what was going on last night.
I can't believe that woman that got stabbed the other night
When you're surrounded
said
by
she had like a collapsed lung or something.
violence, you're mobbed. There's nothing you can do. You know, Elijah
Stabbed
got
by BLM.
in Philadelphia when he got punched in the
So you've seen
mouth.
some of the riots because you said your business
It's a
burned
horrendous
down.
situation, to go into that. He's got
I live close to like a college town that's like not really big, but it's the biggest area around here. And me and my cousin were spending some time in town just shopping, getting something to eat, and like kind of close to the college there was a group of black people, and I think they were Black Lives Matter, and they had a car going by them real slow, and they had like signs and stuff, and I went around them, and everybody's like, what the hell? Like, I'm like, I don't care, I'm not getting stuck behind this.
What he should do, and then what happens if they're able to steal it, which they intend to do. Everybody better get like, well, there's no way, it's a fraud. They don't care. They've already taken
Family in the Appalachians.
Leanne, don't look at your Twitter.
Leanne McAdoo.
Well, you guys still have
Leanne
and watch Chad Prather's our guest. I'm Alex Jones, and we've got a new URL to get around the bans that we have.
I got a
And that is 79 days.
movie that I think, oh wait, I think it's a Russian movie. It's not German. I don't know if I have any German movies.
Hey everybody, DNA Force Plus. If you did one thing,
They're American too.
it would be get all the essential things. And that's the clean iodine X2 or X3. That's the bio true selenium.
People forget who.
Vitamin D3. That is the C. That is the zinc. 13 vitamins and minerals that are essential.
Makes me think of a girl that I was talking to that was from Poland too. Have you ever been to Poland? Is that close to Germany? I don't know. Don't know my geography very well.
That unclog them so all that stuff can get in. Viruses don't get in. The good stuff gets in. As the IH website says, that if you have all the proper things, they can't replicate like they could. But I do this because it's essential, like oxygen, like water. DNA Force sold out for months, 50% off out of the gates. Triple Patriot points, free shipping, InfoWarsStore.com. DNA Force election special. That's going to have to end in a week. We got a limited supply. It was very hard to get the PQQ this time. A lot of our stuff can't get anymore. A lot of our products because the supply chain's broken down. That's part of the Global's plan. InfoWarsStore.com or 888-253-3139. I want to thank you all for tuning in.
Cognitive dissonance is a major issue amongst the left. It can be very stressful dealing with facts you refuse to accept. If you have a family member suffering from this degenerative mental condition, buy them Ultimate Fish Oil from InfoWarsStore.com.
Yeah, but you were talking about the cheese, and I remember she was telling me, or there's some kind of cheese that's popular in Poland.
Decrease triglyceride levels, decrease the growth rate of
Didn't know if that.
provide a soothing reduction in inflammation.
She showed me like some kind of ice cream thing. Like it was like ice cream that looked like spaghetti too. That was interesting. All right, man. Glad you subbed and came in and chatted. Have a good night. Let's pray and hope that Trump wins. God bless. Have a good one, man. It's fun talking to you. I'll do live streams more often, so drop in sometime.
Domestication.
That's right.
In the real world, ignorance is not
Trump
bliss.
2020.
It's enslavement and it's death. The globalists are teaching us all that we're non-essential. With automation, they're bringing in a world that doesn't power humanity, but makes us obsolete. But we're not obsolete. We don't.
God bless, man.
We can farm again. We can garden. We can become self-sufficient. But first, we've got to learn to stand up politically for ourselves, and we need to become self-sufficient. That begins with water filtration to take control of that from the globalists, their fluoride, their dumbing down agenda, and restorable food. And we have it all the highest quality, the highest rated, at the lowest prices at InfoWarsStore.com. Take action now. You cannot lose unless you do not take action. We have the best water filtration, the best storable food, and it funds the InfoWar. Take action now while you still can. Become prepared. Become self-sufficient now at InfoWarsStore.com.
Maricopa in Arizona is closing due to concerns about unrest from sizable crowds protesting.
Before
before I start, man, I just people want to talk to you, bro, and it's a pleasure to
This is
be talking with you.
unbelievable.
I wanted to talk to you, brother. I'm from New Britain, Connecticut, and I just want to plug in that I'm a truck driver, and Tubo Force have changed the way I drive. Me and my brothers that drive, a couple of us, we all Hispanics, Cubans, Puerto Ricans. We used to be on Monster and Red Bull and all that, and I have lost weight because I stopped drinking all that sugar, and I just want to thank you for that, man.
Well, brother, we put more in this than any other long-term, high-quality energy powder there is. So this was designed by one of the top guys in the country. He didn't want his name on it because obviously the political issues, but we had to pay a lot of money for this formulation just for the design of it. And we believe it is the best, strongest, but healthiest energy out there. And you're saying that it's made your life better, so that means a lot to me. Thank you. To all your truck drivers, we love you.
Leading a frontal assault on the lies of the New World.
How's it going? Couple more people in here or something? Just a guy waiting on Trump to win. Let's finish it tonight. What's up, Isaiah? It's been a fight. Yeah, Trump's not going down without a fight. Absolutely not. Neither any of his supporters or his lawyers or the whole shebang. Yeah, this is crazy, Isaiah. How's your day been? I had to work today, and it was like, so stressful all day. I was trying to like get the phone out and check the news whenever I could. It's like, sometimes there was like hopeful things, and sometimes it didn't sound good, and it's like it's just still going. Trump just needs to come out at night, say, I won, and that's it.
When he first joined us, we're laying out what they say they're going to do, and then they go, "Oh, you're Cook Jones and others."
It's crazy, man.
We're going to have Antifa around the White House. We're going to stab people, and now
So,
they're doing it. Chad. Now they're
did you hear that they apparently stopped counting in Maricopa in Arizona?
What happens if they're able to remove?
They're going to hold that off until tomorrow or something because there's a large protest.
More now than ever.
Yeah, I think the White House is on the warpath. I think they're in a situation and they're looking at what their proper recourses are beyond the White House. You know, American citizens, just the hate that they're experiencing for supporting one candidate or the other. It's insane to watch from the footage you were just showing there. I mean, you look at the wall they built around the White House. It looks like the Berlin Wall. It's a double gated. It's the idea that we need something like that. That people are out there and
They just build a wall around the White House. I said that they closed Maricopa, Arizona, where they were counting. I guess they're going to hold off until tomorrow or something. So they're doing the same thing again. They're doing it in Arizona now. Because they said that there's a possibility of riots. There's large groups that are forming there. Maricopa vote counting is closing because of protesters outside.
And then come up with a number that puts you in the lead, and that's exactly what they did last night.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredibly obvious.
Right. They were saying for months, they were saying that Trump's not going to leave office. What do we do if he refuses to leave?
Well, sorry, it might be my connection. That might not be good.
He's going to fight it. And of course,
so they create the fraud. They create the scenario. He's forced to block it because it is a scam. And then it's a self-fulfilling prophecy for their idiot supporters that he's actually a dictator.
Right. And then they can say, oh, we got to get him out. He's refusing to leave. And of course, now the Trump campaign, they have filed suit in Michigan to halt the ballot counting.
And one other state.
Wisconsin. But
Trump up 175 in Michigan.
Numerous counting locations and a review of all opened and counted ballots. So they know that there's a steal going on. They want to make sure, how all of a sudden did you find these 138,000 ballots just so happen to be 100% for Biden something's a little bit fishy there. We just hiding these back in the storage closet.
And Trump predicted it 30 minutes before it happened last night.
Right, and they said, "Oh, how dare he put out that."
By the way, Chad, I'm not trying to kiss people's ass, but President Trump, literally 74, looked like he'd been resting for 2 weeks in the Bahamas last night at 4 a.m., gives an incredibly accurate speech. I mean, this guy's freaking phenomenal.
Dude, listen,
Yeah.
I was dead last night. We were sitting here waiting.
Yep,
on this
this was in Arizona.
speech, and we were just saying, please, come on. Donnie T, get on stage, man, so we can get out of here. He comes out looking...
Saying that Trump is up in Michigan now.
Full of energy. And you can't tell me that Joe Biden, who has given up, put a little life, waved the white flag of surrender on living, and can't even remember who his granddaughter or his wife or his sons or anybody else. You can't
Oh,
for this guy. You can't tell me. He doesn't know his own name. He can't find his way out of the basement. You're going to tell me 7 million Americans.
can't find his way out of the basement.
Question. If they're able to steal it, what are the repercussions in a snapshot? I think, I don't want this to happen, so I'm not Machiavelli. I don't believe in end justifies means, but I can look at the awakening, the backlash, people have really stopped being complacent. If they steal this, they have sowed massive seeds for their destruction.
Well, in many cases, one could look at it and to an extreme. You could say, well, this is the end of a republic. I mean, you've got a guy who is incapable of running the country, much less being the leader of the free world, in Joe Biden.
I was thinking about looking through
If he steps down, and there's so many scenarios whereby he could step back. Maybe
Ecclesiastes more because you said you really like that.
Maybe because of scandal that's there. Maybe he's putting the shoes on the wrong feet, and they can't. He's walking into walls, and he's just not fit for service in that capacity. So now you have a socialist, a far left socialist, who steps into the Oval Office in Kamala Harris. You could paint a picture for
It's a tumbleweed protest.
because now this becomes a critical.
It's a bunch of tumbleweeds have rolled up into Arizona.
Of the Democratic Party. Now we're no longer Democratic.
Bunch of
Party,
dodo
it's a
birds.
Socialist Party.
That's right, the socialist revolution. So you're right. I see people waking up to the backlash, but you're right. They know that's their weakness. They're going to go pure authoritarian, they said they are, and really try to mop up the country. I think you're right. I think it just can't be allowed to happen. We can't let this happen.
No, and now
You're 3 minutes behind now.
Beto O'Rourke says, "Hell yeah, we're coming for your guns."
Yeah, it's probably just my internet. And also, I'm trying to watch that live stream while I'm trying to stream on this. So it's not perfect, man. If it's not working for you, then
scrap the Bill of Rights, get rid of the.
I wouldn't blame you for not sticking around.
On record, they hide it in plain view.
But I don't know what else I can do to make it better, except for maybe stop that. But I kind of want to watch it.
All men do, women as well. I just think we have to do whatever's necessary at this point. We can't play with their plan. We don't want to be offensively violent.
Hey, what's up?
At a certain point, we just can't let Biden take over.
Yeah.
No, you can't let that. You can't let that happen.
How's your day going?
Fight that with every means necessary that's out there. Use the courts. Use the Supreme Court.
Jesus loves you for all eternity.
You can fight it. Like I said, if Joe Biden won this election fair and square, that's one thing. But I just can't believe that he did.
It's a track on agent. Leanne, what do you think happens if Biden can get in?
I just had a scary thought. What Biden can get taken out within the first year.
It's all right. Yeah, I had to work all day, so it's stressful, but feeling great now because I got tomorrow off. So I'm really relaxed now.
Usually, if a president leaves, the vice president comes
But I'm
in.
still stressing
Who makes the vice president? The president.
over the election.
Right, well,
Like that person? How does that work, Chad?
Well, you would have. It depends on the scenario. That's
Isaiah is 4
obviously
minutes
you could have a
behind.
situation where the Speaker of the House has to step in. But if Kamala Harris becomes the president of the United States, of course, she has an opportunity then to appoint her own vice president.
Are you behind Jesus Loves You?
Like, let's say Hillary Clinton.
Because I don't know if it's my stream or
Actually,
They get really, really scary that are in there. I wouldn't.
Is it really laggy?
Something like that were to happen.
the rise of the witches.
all right. I'm going to ask you the questions. When we come back to the next segment with Chad Prather and Leanne McAdoo, I want to ask what you guys think is next and what we should do and what other angles of this are. We have a lot of news, a lot of clips.
seems like someone else
And,
was here doing what I was doing the last few months.
what does he need to do? I mean, it's
What do you
Did you
mean?
hear about the Democrats launching a civil war on July 4th?
Or days?
No? Optimistic?
Yeah.
Civil war is a hoax for Alex Jones.
You mean the guy that was talking before? Said he was from Portland. Said he made straw hats, and he said that Antifa or BLM burnt down his shop or something. And that's what really made him be like a Trump supporter.
Brian, the living Humpty Dumpty embodiment shelter.
Thanks for saying it's fine. So I know my internet's not really the greatest. My company that I have is Frontier, and I have like their best package, and it's like probably the lowest of any other company. But my internet's really cheap, and as long as it works, I guess. But it would be nice if it was like, oh, I don't really like wet. You know, let that dry out. Dang it. Okay, good.
Your track record, your fraud. You're the reason you're a joke.
So here's a big question.
Well, now there's only one person in here, it looks like.
Have any obligation to stop InfoWars in its tracks?
Brian Stelter. Brian Stelter. Brian Stelter. Like Mark Dice says.
And still at InfoWars have a page with nearly 1 million followers. You're going to tell us what happened next. CNN media reporter Oliver Darcy.
Where the hell do they get people like this? I'm not saying that guy's murdered. I'm just saying.
Yeah, there's a crowd of Trump supporters actually outside of Maricopa County. I guess. Trump supporters, I guess. So they're worried about Trump supporters rioting. That's ironic. It's weird.
This press event where they aim to tout their fight against misinformation and conspiracy theories online. And after the presentation, I asked a very simple question. How can you host InfoWars and then sit there and tell us that you take misinformation online to be seriously? And at the time,
you see that there was like some kind of a transgender. That's how you gotta love Alex, the crazy Alex.
Right, it is action, and that's Facebook's argument. I think a lot of people are
Trump's
saying,
ahead in Michigan.
Why would you poison 100 people with false information if you're
leading a frontal assault on the lies of the New World Order? It's Alex Jones. Rolling, 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 rolling. Keep rolling, rolling, rolling. Oh, the strings are swollen. Keep them doggies rolling. Oh,
yeah, the Democrats. They're bringing in all those fake ballots. They got all stored up. They're secret weapons. And though we're disapproving. Oh, I got to tell you, Chad Prather's a great talk show host over at the Blaze Network. Watch Chad. Leanne McAdoo's amazing. Long-time InfoWars reporter.
What was the vid that you were looking for or asked for?
Hates Austin so much she won't live here in this communist hellhole anymore, but we're trying to get her moved back. I'm seriously like, why McAdoo leave? Because this place sucks. I'll tell you why. You're like, why do you live in Austin? Well, my family helped found the state. We've been here since, like North Texas since like 1820s. And, I'm not going to get old back.
Somebody said 400,000 votes left in Arizona. Trump has gained speed, but the vote is still down about 79,000.
They leave California, they come here.
But we're on our way.
I'm ranting. Chad, we got some big news. I see you on your phone. You know about it. Biden wins Wisconsin. An AP report in fight for White House. AP says they're God. Also, the governor of Arizona's come out and said that it was too close to call. Fox should not have called Arizona for that. I predicted Fox would do treacherous crap like that because they're all in it together at the top. And Brady Trump wins Maine 2nd Congressional District, so that's one. It's a split up in two pieces there. Trump campaign statement on Michigan lawsuit. They're calling for every bit of the county to stop until there's lawyers and eyeballs on what these little gremlins do, and I totally agree with that. And McAdoo, that's what you were saying. He has to block it. It's a fraud. They're illegal. It's been proven. It's a Democrat strategy. They admitted they were going to do this, so he's got that for court. And so now they're going to say he's trying to block votes.
Right. Are any of these boxes that they miraculously find with these ballots from the military?
Okay, yeah, that's what I was wondering if you were talking about that.
Notoriously bad at counting those votes.
The one where the comment that you left in one of my videos.
I was able to find those, but they can find these
Voter fraud all
100%
over. Yes, there
votes that
is.
were locked up in the storage closet or in a mail truck somewhere.
I mean, there's been voter fraud going on for ever since the mail-in ballot crap started, you know.
They're going up, and then they stop, and then they go directly vertical up for Joe Biden, and then they start going up more. It's just incredible to see. Graphs don't work like that. I understand if there's an upward growth, you know, it's going forward, but just to stop and then all of a sudden jump up by 100,000 and keep going is insane. I do think they need somebody looking over their shoulder. Somebody needs to be there. I don't know if we need to start having, these armored cars that are coming in with armed security that are grabbing these boxes and taking them out. And I mean, is anybody objective anymore? I don't know. But somebody needs to be looking over their shoulder. I'm going to steal that phrase from you, Alex. These little gremlins that are counting these ballots, because you're exactly right. There's something fresh out of the pit of hell going on here. We're in a battle for the soul of our country. This is the soul. This is the identity of America that is at stake. This is everything that we have. It's the things that we love about this country, the things that we value and make us patriots. All of that is on the altar at this point in time.
And for folks that don't know, you called for the draft. There it is.
Oh, boy.
We have about several states, Wisconsin, Michigan. As soon as those drop, it's a straight up line. No graph is straight if it's organic and real. It goes up and down. This is just, boom, perfectly straight up like a rocket for Joe Biden. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Right, and they called out the
And then it
president.
continues on. Perfect line. That's an artificial line of fraud. Sorry.
Right, the president, how dare he say that they're going to find a bunch of boxes of votes at 4:00 in the morning? We wouldn't do that. We have integrity. How dare he?
But that's what we
That's
always do.
exactly what happened. I mean, that's exactly what
And
happened.
they got their operatives boarding them, and they go, okay, we need this many. Okay, we'll bring them in.
Right, and they're just holding on. Didn't think they don't roll them out because maybe they won't need them. They thought there was going to be this blue wave, but then
That's right. The Senate, that they're not getting, looks like we're going to make the Senate stronger. House is about the same. You'd imagine if Trump was in so much trouble, they would have taken the Senate. I mean, that looks to me, that's another indicative sign.
Well, people are just waking up. I mean, even in Kenosha County, it's very slim margin there for Trump. And I think, they experienced the riots there and the looting and the call to defund the police. And they're thinking
This is insane, guys.
Similar to the Cubans in Miami and Venezuelans and those people living there in exile from their communist countries, they see the writing on the wall and they're voting absolutely against that happening here in our country.
I might be able to look through my notifications and find it. I mean, I don't know. You said you sent it like months ago, but I thought I remember looking at it.
Turns out the three guys that attacked him were all criminals. One a pedophile, so they were all criminals. And he's on record. They were shooting at him. We now know another guy had a gun aimed at killing people out of jail like a week. I mean, it's insane. But Rittenhouse, he's got to pay, Chad.
Yeah, Kyle Rittenhouse is a good example. If you're not going to defend us, and I'm talking about the police, I'm talking about law enforcement, talking about National Guard, whoever comes in on the scene, if you're not going to defend us, we have to have the right to defend ourselves. And you see too many of these Kyle Rittenhouse situations where someone defended themselves, and you can make the argument all day long, well, maybe Kyle Rittenhouse shouldn't have been out there with an AR-15. Well, he's got the right to do that. Look, I support numerous organizations that have shown up, and I support their right to bear arms. You want to walk out there with an AR-15, you want to march down the street.
Yeah, your name sounds familiar.
We've seen that.
Your screen name.
Liberal zombie pedophile apocalypse. I mean, the one guy he shot first literally is convicted of raping a little boy.
What's your actual name?
Yeah, I mean, they're chasing.
Or what's your first name?
How dare they?
Yeah, look, people get up in arms because they say an assault style weapon, right? Look, I don't go anywhere that I'm not armed. I got it in Texas. I have the right. I've done everything to have that right. And
I mean, I've got a police shotgun in my truck, and I've got a 9mm. And it's not because I'm living in fear. I'm living in charge. I'm not going to be pushed around.
Exactly. I don't want to match might for might. I want to overcome the might that's coming against me. So I make sure that I'm protected. My family makes sure I'm protected. We're defensive and offensive. Listen, I've got body armor. My family, everybody in my family's got body armor. We've got protection around our house. We don't want to have to shoot anybody, but by God, if you come down our street and you start
Todd.
trouble at our house, it's going to be a different story.
And that's why all the crimes in areas where there's not good old boys.
You've been listening to Millie Weaver all night. She's digging up all kinds of stuff about the election. Yeah, I bet. Is she even a part of Alex's operation anymore? She just do her own thing now?
They're wanting to crucify him and make an example out of him, and he was well within his
I'm sure
rights.
there's so much to watch. I know Project Veritas has made a lot of videos too. Lately, I haven't checked any of that. I'm just...
He's not a big, imposing guy. He's got courage. He did a good job defending himself. He was very proficient. But he doesn't look like, you know, a big guy. And so that's why they picked on him. They also beat up women. They beat up handicapped.
Oh my goodness.
The first guy he killed that was attacking him, you know, and raped 2 8-year-old boys. I mean, this is what these silly people are.
Yeah, and at what point in time do we say enough's enough? At what point in time do we say enough is enough? You're burning down buildings.
She's live still.
You're vandalizing. You're killing. You're murdering. You showed a clip earlier of somebody being stabbed in Washington, D.C. At what point in time do you say that's enough? And we're going to fight that.
Right. This can't be the new normal. We can't have people just targeting this woman, Bevelyn Beatty, who was stabbed. And she's the one who had previously dumped paint over the Black Lives Matter mural outside the Trump Tower. So they believe that they were targeting her because she dared to stand up.
Yeah.
And,
as far as I know, Millie Weaver started with him.
with the resistance. How dare you be
That's how I remember seeing her, because like Leanne McAdoo is with him now. Like she was the main girl pretty much, and then like she kind of disappeared for a while, and then it was Millie Weaver.
They are definitely targeting individuals that they.
Well, that's what I told Savannah.
She was working for him for a while.
They know.
But that's cool. Yeah, I mean, she's cool. She does a lot of interviewing on the streets and stuff. I mean, that's what she did for Alex a lot. She had her own videos, but she would go to the streets and ask people questions and stuff.
Dude, at this point in time, I need a drink, Alex.
Let's
talk about what it looks like between now and the election. I'm sorry, the inauguration.
That's right. Look it up.
Acknowledging that it's not good information. It's not good enough for a large audience. So why would it be good enough for a small?
Yeah, I got to look at Project Veritas. There's so much information all over.
You know, I'm not saying that he had a pubic hair.
But all of the fraud stuff, I mean, it's like, how fast is stuff going to move in court on that? And there's going to be some things that are just probably not going to be able to answer to. Oh my, I'm losing my mind. I feel like I'm going insane, man. But it's good to know there's people all over that are going through it. I think it's awesome that all those pro-Trump protesters are in Arizona. I mean, it's not awesome that they shut it down because of them or whatever, but I mean, they're taking action. Like, that's what Trump supporters need to do in these cities.
It's an opinion, you know, it's an acceptable opinion.
It is my opinion that Ryan Stelter rapes the truth every day. It is my opinion that Ryan Stelter looks like my vision in my mind of what a child molester looks like. Now, I don't think Ryan Stelter's a child molester. I think he molests the truth. But he looks like it's a clown. He looks like a nightmare vision. He looks like, and his actions are anti-free speech. There's another photo. Oh, this is somebody else. Sorry. He looks like that. So all I'm saying is, hey, dude, you're trying to rape my truth.
They were praying in Arizona. Yeah. Yeah, I think I do remember reading that. You're right. Because somebody was like, Trump protesters are praying while BLM are destroying.
For YouTube, for other tech platforms as well. InfoWars pops up on all of them.
The worst dictators are beta males that try to become alpha males because they've got something to prove. You're a beta, coward, cuck, who only used an open free society that protected you to run rampant against alpha males. And now you're going to taste lightning bolts. Oh, God, set him down, Jesus! Don't go in! What are you doing? Don't look at it! No! No! That little son of a bitch thinks he's better than everybody? You know what? If America wants that to roll you, then tell me. And I'll turn loose.
Somebody commented on one of the prayers I did for Trump. She said, Satan has done his best to kill the Trump presidency. When all hope of flesh is gone, that's when God works a miracle. 4 years ago, I had ovarian cancer and would have died, but the Lord stepped into my circumstances and healed me. Help is on the way. Portland delayed the National Guard. Delayed them? It's in Vegas and somewhere else now. The Trump supporters are in Vegas. It's just going to go on to another night. Crazy. I'm glad I have tomorrow off. Tomorrow's probably going to be nuts. This is a weird video from Alex. The world, man. Remember the 5th of November. What's it going to be, Armageddon?
Of a new world order.
Tomorrow? Didn't they say like some of the places could count votes until Friday or something? Or isn't Georgia waiting until Friday? Is it really going to go on that long?
Right now, looks like Trump's going to lose. If he doesn't flip Michigan back, if he doesn't get Nevada, if he doesn't get Arizona, it's bye-bye time.
Oh, Alex is starting to preach doom and gloom now.
Voting. And he's set in Georgia. Let's punch up the satellite feed. It's still empty. How do you know a Biden campaign? Because it's an empty parking lot. He's set to declare victory at 4 o'clock today. We'll be live on air covering this disgusting spectacle. And again, I'm going to tell you, they said if Biden wins, they're going to come after Trump supporters and, quote, level us, persecute us, put us in prison. It's not just Keith Olbermann saying that. It's high-level Democrats. So this is a communist overthrow. This is not a normal, just like our guest was just saying, this is not a normal political handoff if this happens. They are literally looking to cement things and have one-party rule, Leanne.
Right, and even if Joe Biden comes out and announces that he's the winner, even prematurely, then that's still going to feed into that narrative that Trump's refusing to concede.
V for Vendetta, the movie. Is that in the movie? Remember the 5th of November?
Tells everyone, well, I won.
Yeah, I've seen it like once a long time ago. I think I might actually have it in my collection.
Maybe they were going to wait till the weekend to roll
I didn't remember that it was from that. That's interesting.
because Trump is going to refuse to leave the White House. They are.
That's exactly what it is.
It's interesting that
Force him out.
we're actually going to have something interesting on this November, 5th of November.
Chad Prather, I don't want to say I have a sneaking feeling.
Yeah, that just makes me think of Anonymous. Whatever happened to Anonymous?
Do I get on a plane and go to D.C.? Do I? I mean, I'm getting to the point where I'm not going to have some Chi-Com commie.
It's a day for a revolution to start. Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad. When we left the studio in the wee hours,
It's almost like prophecy, huh?
in my soul, like there was something that just wasn't complete yet. There was something.
You nailed it. I'm interrupting. It's emptiness. That's the feeling. It's emptiness. Why are we feeling that?
Yeah, and I said this is the first time. You know, I remember the election. I stayed up in the wee hours as long as I could. The election of 2000, George W. Bush and Al Gore. Stayed up as long as I could, and we know the rest of the history on that. This is a weird one. They just stopped counting. And it just said, we're just going to stop, and we're just going to parlay this thing over and see how many we need. We'll go from there. And that's exactly what they did. We've called it over and over again. You know, Joe Biden's going to come out and he's going to announce victory because he wants to look presidential in the mind and the eye of people that are out there. And you're exactly right, Leanne, to your point. They're going to say, well, this is Trump being a little despot who doesn't want to give up power. This is exactly what happened actually in 2000. in a different scenario when George W. Bush stepped out and basically announced that he was the winner. Al Gore didn't step up and assert himself in any form of a leadership capacity, and people just accepted it as the
That's right. Trump's got to go on at the same. Trump's got to go.
Yeah, you saw about the Project Veritas, as the Office of Inspector General for the USPS has contacted him about Michigan voter fraud.
You know, Michigan, you can't tell me that Michigan is going to flip, is going to not flip red, is not going to go to, I mean,
It went red last time, and then Trump delivered. Trump delivered.
Yeah, the lead was so big. And to tell me that Michigan is going to go blue is insane. You look at the numbers in Georgia, you look at the numbers in Nevada, look at the numbers in Pennsylvania. The lead was so big in Pennsylvania, that's insurmountable. I mean, in Georgia, you know, you take Clayton County, which is a Democratic stronghold. They didn't have a big turnout in Clayton County, Georgia. They didn't have a big turnout there.
Obama used to get crowds of 50,000 people like Trump. Biden can't get them anywhere.
When Obama came out,
I don't know what to think, man.
Yeah.
Say that again, Leanne.
Obama just was out campaigning for Biden the other day, and there was like 12 people in the crowd. I mean, he's lost his luster.
This is a giant fraud. Wow. And they expected to have a fraudulent landslide, but it didn't work.
People are saying where are all the GOP figures, Ted Cruz and stuff. Nobody's saying anything, I guess.
It's insane.
All right, man. Have a good one. Thanks for stopping in.
Yeah, and people act like this is the guy that 70 million people voted for. You can't say this guy doesn't know how to tie his shoes. And you're going to tell me that 70 million people voted for a guy who can't remember the words that are coming out of his mouth. His wife wears a mask so she can whisper next to him what he needs to be saying. She's his teleprompter in his ear. That's why she wears a mask, so nobody can see her lips moving.
Exactly.
This guy doesn't know where he's at. And it's going to be, you know what? And there's a part of me, guys, there's a part of me that wants to say, you know what? I hope you get what you deserve. You vote for this kind of nonsense and BS. I hope you get what you deserve because look, I'm pretty resilient. And, you know, a lot of folks out there like us, we're resilient. We're prepared. We can put up with some hard times. But these folks, these basement dwellers that have never exercised any muscle but the thumbs that they've used to play a video game, they're not prepared for this. They have no idea.
They have no aces in the hole, and all we got is card decks in the hole. And I'm just being honest.
That's right.
Good old boys do. They be black, white, old, young. We got our act together. These people don't know anything. They don't know what a Trump line is. They don't know how to even imagine skinning a buck. They don't know how to pay a payroll. They don't know how to get up and take care of their kids. They're all just a bunch of loser idiots that would actually believe this Chicom agent is good. This is pathetic.
Yeah. No, they've been on the government dole for so long. They don't know any different. From the baby boomer grandparents to their Generation X parents, they've never heard the word no. They've never done without. They've never gone hungry. They don't have any concept of a hard day's work, and they certainly don't understand this idea of working 6 days a week and worshiping on a seventh. And you know, they don't have any concept of these values, the things that made America great. Just like Franklin said, we're going to build a republic. If we're going to have a republic, it's conceived. And we need true and fair and honest and strong, resilient people to stand up right now before this thing goes completely.
Absolutely, and that's why Big Tech wants everybody censored and said, we won't listen to anyone's election views other than these 7 media outlets. Mm-hmm. And they're the ones that are covering up all the fraud, covering up the scams, because they need this victory against nationalism, against our repudiation of them, repudiation of the communist Chinese. This is for all the marbles. Chad Prather is our guest at Watch Chad on Twitter and on YouTube. Chad Prather. I'm going to be popping in on his show tomorrow. Really appreciate him coming on with us. Thank you so much, sir.
Dude, thank you, guys. Thank you for everything you're doing.
Thank you, brother. All right, Leanne, do 5 more minutes with me in the next hour, and then we're going to hand the baton over. Next guest host. And then I'm going to go sleep in my office for about an hour. And then I'm going to,
Long night.
Yeah, and then I'm only got about 2 hours sleep. I'm feeling good, but I'm kind of getting dinghy here. I'm going to take a nap, and then I'm going to pop back out of my hole on the couch, and then we're going to get back on air here.
Well, I mean, the good news is if President Trump does win Nevada, then he will not need Michigan or Wisconsin. And so we don't really know what's going on there. I guess with the election close to call, the Nevada officials said that they were going to just pause releasing the new totals for 24 hours. Why? I'm not sure.
This is all unprecedented fraud. It's exactly what they said they'd do, and they're just doing it because they think they've got media covered.
Right. They think possibly if they pause, then Joe Biden can get those other electoral votes to reach 270. If they can stop these other states from getting their electoral votes in. Pennsylvania, some counties there, they said, oh, it's due to the COVID restrictions that we can't safely count the ballots.
But the CDC said if you have COVID, still go vote.
Yeah.
It's all
Versus-
turn it on, turn it off. They control it as a gatekeeping mechanism on us. Guys, I'm begging listeners, for myself and you, to please share the link. Band.video, Infowars.com. But those get blocked on Twitter and Facebook and places. Well, you spread 79days.news is the new URL. They're not able to censor. Also, electionnight.news, but now it's election 79 days. So 7979 days. So the number 79days.news, and just email it out and say, here is the forbidden truth as America fights Chi-Com takeover. And let me explain something. I know you already know this. You know we're not making this up. You've seen the proof. But I really wish the Democrats were just normal corrupt or whatever, or weren't corrupt. I wish they weren't actual Chi-Com agents. We're in big trouble. And I am a coward and a piece of filth if I don't really start mobilizing civil disobedience and really aggressive stuff. And then they start a fight. You know what's going to happen. They're going to false flag and say we're violent offensively. We want to do that. I'm not going to be overtaken by Chi-Com. So let's just get with the facts here. We're not rolling over this. They knew we wouldn't roll over. That's why they're targeting us. They've got our number. And our number is called faithful to common sense in this republic. And my ancestors never backed down to traitors. I'm not backing down to this stupid garbage right now. Our ancestors kicked King George's ass. Nobody else had beat him. And a bunch of other people's asses. And I'm just telling you right now, it's psych war. That's 95% of this fight. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to come down to boots on the ground and what you're going to do. But this is not a normal party. I wish they were just a Democratic Party. They're Chi-Com globalist operatives. I had a war chest to fight this fight. I told you, we're not out of the woods yet. We're in the woods, ladies and gentlemen, deep in the woods. We can cut our way out of this. I got great products you need. PQQ, CoQ10, Force, sold out for months, back in stock, 50% off, free shipping, Triple Patriot points, Body's Ultimate Tumor Formula, sub up your cells, sub up your whole body, 95% healing, discounted. Vitamin infusion,
I really enjoyed this last few years. I know that.
And get some t-shirts and books of films, and I salute and thank you all. Hour number 4 is only 2 minutes away. We have now entered the 79 days now. Breaking news. Now listen, we've got a new product that we are launching that I'm really, really proud of. And this product's been in for about a month. And my dad was selling his website at DrJonesNaturals.com because we've diversified here to try to get around deplatforming and stay on air and all the rest of it. So I asked my dad a few years ago, I said, Dad, can you help? Can you go start a shopping cart? Can you go on your own products? Can you become my sponsor? Well, he partnered with my brother-in-law who has information in nutraceuticals, supplements, and FDA, and he's a chemist. He's actually got a couple of degrees. And so they came out with the strongest product you can imagine at DrJonesNaturals.com. But they're all sold at InfoWarsStore.com as well. So we have the 500 milligram Congo Shield proprietary blend at 250 milligrams, depending on how much you weigh or how chill you want to get. This is not a placebo. This is the real deal. Kava's all the rage. You've heard about how they smooth you out, calm, euphoria, you name it. We've got a proprietary blend of Kava and other known healthy compounds that are amazing. We have it 500 milligrams. We have it 250 milligrams at InfoWarsStore.com. Introductory price. You're going to love this Kava. A lot of you are already into Kava. If you're not into Kava, go research it. We have some of the best you're going to find. If you get Kava Chill, regular and extra strength together, it's 60% off in the combo at InfoWarsStore.com or 888-253-3139. You weigh 200 pounds, folks. You need the regular Kava Chill. You're a little bit bigger than 200 pounds, maybe the big one, but it's amazing. And free shipping, Triple Patriot points, InfoWarsStore.com. Kava Chill. You want to have a great, relaxed, focused evening? It's amazing. It's a nice level. Kava Chill, 500 250 milligrams. InfoWarsStore.com.
We told you what was going to happen, and it did. Now we're telling you what's coming. And Got Video.
Leading a frontal assault on the lies of the New World Order, it's Alex Jones.
Trump's gonna pull us through. Trump's gonna pull us through.
Well, the Democrats without a spell, but only I'm not going to run shotgun with a few more segments in. Special guest Bishop Barry Gator is going to give you a perspective on the election. This is a very serious time to be alive. I'm going to then go take a nap for 45 minutes, and I'll be back on the war road. We're going to go live right through 9 o'clock tonight. Now, the Democrats are going to declare victory today, and they're going to try to stop the recounts. They're waiting for Trump's strategy. They've got the fix in Nevada. They got the fix in Arizona. The governor come out and said it's a scam. I told you Fox News would announce key states, not just because they're part of that 7 group, and they're really globalists at the top. And so they would think that would have the credibility. I mean, I did call that, Liam.
Yeah, I mean, you got like Nerman making some decisions there at Fox News. There are never Trumpers there that sit on the board, and so they want to say that they're the voice of the conservatives, but they're not. It's coming through a filter. It's coming through with bias.
Well, Tucker exactly used to be, and we're libertarians, so they thought he was safe. They really showed who he was, and he was so powerful they're scared of him. But other than him and maybe Kennedy and Ingram, out of the inside baseball, they want to control. They have over 1,000 people that they pay $50,000 a year to $100,000 a year to control them. They call them pundits. They tell people, don't even say you're signed with us. You're a paid pundit. They say you can't on other shows.
Oh, this fat guy here stuffing my face.
And most of those people you see are paid to be under the stable of Fox News.
Or
Just waiting for Trump to announce that he's won.
That should have been the first sign for people that it was something weird was going on. You know, when you were in to be a commentator. But
the one that rigged the debates.
Yeah, rigged the debates, gave Hillary Clinton the questions. You know, it doesn't, and it's to come off to be fair and balanced, but no, none of the other networks are doing anything like that. You know, so I just think we really are under assault from these media corporations who are wanting to control.
They think they own it. They're not just lying media. They control the censorship. They say they control. Like you said, that New York Times week is like we will decide.
Yeah, it's the media who gets to declare the president. You know, no, you don't. First of all, you think you've got so much power, but
see, Trump's so good, it's so real that just he overturns their whole thing. So they don't know what to do now. They have to do this. Yeah, they have to steal this.
Well, and then so now is Biden going to come out and say that he's the winner? But then, of course, some of these other slower states are going to roll in and we'll find out, no, in fact, he isn't the winner. But then it's just going to create all of this confusion so that they can say Trump is refusing to concede, he's refusing to leave. This sets up the possibility for the military to go in and pull him out because we've already seen that we have a lot of traitors in there who
and you know what this means for the lockdown? It's going to get a lot worse. Everybody said, "Oh, as soon as Biden wins, we'll go away." No, once they get you in handcuffs, hey, how about a fight?
I mean, they already have told us they're going to mask us up and lock us down. So that's the plan. That's what we're.
Muzzle on, doors locked, on your knees.
Nobody's allowed to go.
And Bill Gates is coming with a special shot.
They say don't kill Granny, but if she does die, you can't even go to her funeral. You know, you can't go visit her.
You can't go see what's happening when we kill her in the hospital with a tube down her throat.
Right, you can't go visit her in the nursing home. She's got to spend her last days, her dying days, alone, separated from the family. I mean, it's a pathetic existence that they're wanting to take us away from our humanity.
Well, they're going to start paying. A lot of people are really tired of this. And so, and I got to tell you, though, can you imagine, Leanne, the inauguration with that skeleton, that clown up there? I mean, watching, and Kamala.
Says the National Guard was activated for the first time tonight in Portland.
Literally installed.
Literally, because
in the past 6 months of rioting, the government refused to bring in the National Guard.
So for whatever reason, former President Obama came out and made a few phone calls, and then all of a sudden, the remaining Democrats in the race dropped out, and then finally they were like, "All right, Joe Biden, he's the best one we've got. He's the only one we have that can take out Trump." But I guess it's just because he's the only one compromising.
He's a Chinese agent. Well, the other thing is he's been totally caught. We're gonna come back. We got big breaking news: Trump campaign statement on Michigan lawsuit. Trump campaign demands recount in Wisconsin. Developing Trump campaign to hold press conference in Philadelphia. 3:30 Eastern Standard Time. The ruling Giuliani will be covered all live there.
I am so honored to introduce the next president of the United States, Senator Kamala Harris.
A Harris administration together with Joe Biden.
Harris-Biden administration is going to relaunch that effort and keep pushing further to make it.
I'm back. The next president.
My name's Joe Biden. I'm Joe Biden's husband, and I'm Kamala's running mate. You all think I'm kidding, don't you? A black man invented the light bulb, not a white guy named Edison. Okay? Oh, son of a bitch.
The greatest battle in the history of humanity is happening right now. Don't sit on the sidelines now. The fight starts at Infowars.com.
Oh my goodness.
The leaden winter would bring you down forever, but you rode upon the steamer to the violence of the sun.
Broadcasting worldwide. In defiance of global tyranny.
And the colors of the sea, and your eyes with trembling.
I love that crane.
I love it.
Seriously, folks. Pastor Gators will take over next segment, and then we got the war at 3 p.m. We covered all these live press conferences. It was illegal. It was unconstitutional to send out the 80 million ballots. It was all done under the COVID hysteria. The Democrats said our strategy will be hold it up and then count all these that come in. They never even lied about it.
Someone said Arizona should have results at 11:30 in the morning.
This election from us, we deserve what we get. And I'll say it again. I was in control. And you get Trump, and we reject it, and all the rest of it, then, those little babies, nobody came to save them. They were getting chopped up, 60 million of them. Nobody stood up.
It's official. Georgia went to Trump.
Running around injecting people with steroids. And so, I would hope we wake up and Trump just realizes we turn things around. But instead, they take a stand at like 3:30 in the morning, and 30 minutes later, exactly what he talked about, of all the ballots being dumped, and then the graphs going straight up. A real organic graph is up and down, and it's organic. But artificial straight lines, well, these are straight lines. It's 100% Biden.
Oh.
And that's what they did in a bunch of states. And so
Magic ballots
they
disappeared.
mean business. And that's why in Nevada and Arizona, they had Fox announce, they've lost, Trump's lost. So people would then accept what was coming.
Mm-hmm.
And now the key to all this is, even the governors are like, especially in Arizona, like, no, actually, looks like Trump probably won. So this is big time corruption, ladies and gentlemen. This is big time. So the media has been discredited. The system's been discredited.
Thinking I might do this for another hour or something, and then I might give it a little bit of a break. I've been going all crazy about this all day, and if we're still not going to have some results until tomorrow, then I might just...
So we won there. We lead by 76,000 votes with almost nothing left. And all of a sudden, everything just stopped. This is a fraud on the American public.
That was from last night. Yeah.
We were getting ready to win this election. Frankly, we did win this election. So our goal now is to ensure the integrity for the good of the nation. This is a very big moment. This is a major fraud in our nation. We want the law to be used in a proper manner. So we'll be going to the U.S. Supreme Court. We want all voting to stop. We don't want them to find any ballots at 4 o'clock in the morning and add them to the list. Okay? It's a very sad. It's a very sad moment. To me, this is a very sad moment. And we don't want this. And as far as I'm concerned,
about 8 months ago, I began to play air raid sirens to start over broadcast. You know that. Why did I do that? Because we're in an emergency. We're under attack. And only by facing that can we turn this around. Vote fraud in Michigan, massive dump of over 200,000 ballots at Biden all of a sudden appeared. Oversight update. Officials call it a typo. But it isn't a typo. They have been caught red freaking handed. Man.
Right, all of them for Biden. And there's just so many different tactics they have to steal this election. One of those being calling the states early, before the polls were even closed. So they call Arizona, they call Nevada. What that does is it causes people who were going to vote in those states to stay home.
Because we know conservatives are voting on the day of, leftists before on average.
Exactly.
And so that gives them that, yeah, that's election fixing right there.
That is total election meddling, because you have the mail-in ballots that were already starting to be
Because
counted.
they're scared on the West Coast. We're saying California might go red.
Yeah. Oh, when you see the 96-mile Trump rally, the Trump train in Nevada, 96 miles of vehicles there with Trump flags representing showing up. So then if they call these states early, anyone who's trying to go vote the day of, maybe they're going to be a little bit dismayed. They're going to think their vote doesn't matter. Why should I go wait in line for several hours because they've already called the state? Absolute election meddling there. That's why, your vote does matter. You got to show up. But Fox News would call it. We were looking at the numbers and the percentages last night, just looking at each other like,
Oh my goodness, guys.
57% Trump. Why would they say it's for Biden? And that was happening in
Oh.
multiple states. And so I just think that the entire thing is just to make people just comfortable with whatever they declare, whoever they declare to be the winner, even if it doesn't make sense.
And let's
That
explain.
doesn't add up.
Trump can come out and say this is a scam. I think I won. The other shows he did, but Biden can say similar things. That's okay.
Right.
I mean, again, this is total fraud. All right, I know you're getting a lot of calls in the war room. We've got Patrick Gators coming up here in just a moment. Here's Trump campaign statement on Michigan lawsuit. As votes continue to be counted, presidential race in the state remains extremely tight, as we always knew it would be. President Trump's campaign has not been provided with meaningful access to numerous counting locations to observe the opening of ballots. Counting process is guaranteed by Michigan law. We have filed suit today in Michigan court of claims to halt continuing until meaningful access can be granted. We also demand to review those ballots which were opened and counted. While we did not have meaningful access, President Trump is committed to ensuring that all legal votes are counted in Michigan and everywhere else. Bill Stephen Steffen, Trump 2020 campaign manager, and Trump campaign demands recount in Wisconsin. Developing Giuliani campaign to hold press conference, Philadelphia, PA, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's 2:30. And we always love our great guest hosts that come in here, but they've always got that warning that sometimes we've got to break away. So Gators is coming up next segment. We're going to go to that Giuliani thing. He'll be able to come on after, get him on as a guest as well. Look forward to what he has to say. Also, Rudolph, Giuliani's en route to Philly with legal team. That's all coming up. Again, Biden campaign is aiming to declare victory by 4 p.m. I'm just going to end with this and hand it over to Mr. Gators. I told everybody that the fix is in. The enemy didn't put out these war plans. They didn't prepare all this to play games, okay? And all hell's about to break loose. I think they're going to run false flags and start a race war, all sorts of horrible crap. Bishop Larry Gators will give you his take on this on the other side. But these are the times to try everyone's souls. And so just pray for America, pray for the world, pray for President Trump, pray that this evil be brought to light, these hidden things be exposed. I know Pastor Gators is about to cover that. This is all coming up. We should probably get Pastor Gators back up tonight during the 7 to 9. I'll be up here with folks. We get him off 30 minutes then as well, so I'm going to cut this time. We really appreciate him. And Leanne Macken will be here as well, but he'll come up next segment. Then we'll have the press conference there with Giuliani. This is also critical. And then separately, I'm not complaining, and if it's God's will, that's just the way it is. The amount of money we brought in the last 2 or 3 days, if I did that every day, we'd go bankrupt in about 6 months. I'm not bitching. We had millions of new listeners yesterday, millions. We could actually see watching and listening up 1 million at a time, okay? And we didn't bring enough money to keep the lights on. So I'm always having on those days that are bigger days, I'm always trying to tell God does it. We're never really pushing over what we need. I need people to go to InfoWarsStore.com. I mean, you can see now we have to stand the fight. Trump's not going to save us. He needs our help. It's the other way around. InfoWarsStore.com. You need DNA Force Plus. It's back in stock. Big discounts on it. Appreciate it. You need X2. You need Vitamin D. You need Ultra 12. These are all essential things. Look into it. Get it. It's what you should be doing for your immune system and all the crazy stuff that's going on. InfoWarsStore.com or 253-3139. And yes, storable food, InfoWarsStore.com. Highest quality, lowest prices. Get it while you can. Because they're going to keep this depression going. They're bringing us to our knees. Thomas Jefferson said the level of tyranny we'll live under is the level we put up with. Well, we were putting up with a lot here, aren't we? So we are not in Kansas anymore. We're in very, very dangerous waters. Just please keep the station, support them, and just go to InfoWarsStore.com to get the fish oil that's so good for you, and to get the books and the t-shirts, and shortwave radios, and non-GMO heirloom seeds, and water filtration, and soil panel systems, and combat hatchets, and just so much cool stuff at InfoWarsStore.com. And the big sale is up there right now, 50% off On Body's Ultimate Turmeric Formula and DNA Force Plus 2020 election super sale. Now it's the Days of Hell sale. Thank you, McAdoo. It's so good to have you here.
I'm so glad to be back.
Well, if you've got the energy, which I think you do, be back with us tonight. Live coverage continued at 9 p.m. Later, stuff keeps unfolding. Patrick Gator, straight ahead, Salem. Two InfoWars best-selling products are now back in stock for being sold out for months. BioTrue Selenium from the mustard seed, essential in all the electrochemical activity of the cells in the body. That's every human activity. And on top of it, Body's Ultimate Turmeric Formula with 95% humanoid. Winning competitors have 3 to 5%. The things that turmeric does, I don't have to tell you, this is the highest quality, strongest you're going to find. So both these are amazing products. And they found the InfoWar.
All right, I think I might end the stream for now. I might get some sleep in a little bit. I don't know how much I want to stay up and listen to all this. So I was up until 6 o'clock the other night and didn't really night, so I don't know. Get some more developments and I come back on. God bless, guys. Pray Trump wins.
People absolutely love them because they really work. InfoWarsStore.com.